Well, hello again. It's Torvix or Victor here again for another short, slow reading of the Book of Mormon. So again, my copy of the Book of Mormon with missionaries a while back. So we stopped off at 1 Nephi, and I read from 1 to 12. So now I'm going to read 13 onwards, and we're going to see how we go, time-wise and such. And of course, as always, any respectful questions or respectful comments, please leave them down below. Even if I can't answer them, which is probably likely because I'm not a theologian, I'm sure one of the very wise members down below will probably be able to answer it. So let's have a read. Starting at 13. And he read, saying, Woe, woe unto Jerusalem, for I have seen thine abominations. Yea, and many things did my father read concerning Jerusalem, that it should be destroyed, and the inhabitants thereof, many should perish by the sword, and many should be carried away captive into Babylon. And it came to pass that when my father had read and seen many great and marvelous things, he did exclaim many things unto the Lord, such as, Great and marvelous are thy works, O Lord God Almighty. Thy throne is high in the heavens, and thy power and goodness and mercy are over all the inhabitants of the earth. And because thou art merciful, thou wilt not suffer those who come unto thee, that they shall perish. And after this manner was the language of my father in the praising of his God, for his soul did rejoice, and his whole heart was filled, because of the things which he had seen, yea, which the Lord had shown unto him. And now I, Nephi, do not make a full account of the things which my father hath written, for he hath written many things which he saw in visions and dreams, and in dreams. And he also hath written many things which he prophesied and spake unto his children, of which I shall not make a full account. But I shall make an account of my proceedings in my days. Behold, I make an abridgment of the record of my father upon plates, which I have made with mine own hands. Wherefore, after I have abridged the record of my father, then will I make an account of mine own life. Therefore, I would that ye should know that after the Lord had shown so many marvelous things unto my father Lehi, yea, concerning the destruction of Jerusalem, beholdeth, he went forth among the people, and began to prophesy, and to declare unto them concerning the things which he had both seen and heard. And it came to pass that the Jews did mock him because of the things which he testified of them, for he truly testified of their wickedness and their abominations. And he testified that the things which he saw and heard, and also the things which he read in the book, manifested plainly in the coming of a Messiah, and also the redemption of the world. And when the Jews heard these things, they were angry with him. Yea, even as with the prophets of old, whom they had cast out, and stoned and slain. And they had also sought his life, that they might take it away. But behold, I, Nephi, will show unto you that the tender mercies of the Lord are over all those whom he hath chosen, because of their faith, to make them mighty, even unto the power of deliverance. Now up to chapter 2. So, I'm going to pause there for this particular video. But what stood out to me was one or two small things. One thing is, imagine being like Lehi. You have essentially a vision from God, and you see all these amazing things, and you feel so overwhelmed that you feel like you have to preach it. You've been given this mission to go out to the world and speak it. So you march into a city, an amazing historical city that's stood since times recorded, so to speak. And you march around the streets, you start telling them all that they're all sinners, and they're all gonna get destroyed, and they have to change. And to a degree, I can appreciate how the people of Jerusalem would be upset. People walking around telling you that you're a sinner, and that your city's full of sin and wickedness, and it's going to be destroyed. On one hand, I understand that he felt the need to go forth and spread the word as he was commanded to do. But nobody wants to be told that their city is going to be destroyed due to their own sins. But he would have known that to a degree. No matter how passionate he was still a human being. And so he went around, marched around the city, pretty much telling people that they're living in sin, they're living wrong, and risked his own life. Because they mention here, where is it? And when the Jews had heard these things, they were angry with him, referring to the prophecies. Yea, even as with all prophets of old, whom they cast out and stoned and slain. And they also sought his life. So he's walking around the city, proclaiming prophecy, telling them all that the destruction is nigh and there's bad things coming and so on. And they're trying to kill him. They're trying to, he makes reference of that because they're threatening his father. They're telling him that he was told or he observed or he understood that they wanted to destroy, he wanted to kill his father for slandering the city, for slandering them. It's quite a risk to take. I don't think any of us in the modern world can really appreciate that. Really, I mean, if you live in, most people in my audience live in the United States, Australia, UK, Philippines. These are countries that allow reasonable levels of freedom of self-expression. So the thought that we'd go out there and be killed for our beliefs is, to most of us, not all, to most of us, an odd one. But would you still do it? Is the question I ask. If the church was banned in your country, would you still attend? Would you take that risk? Would you be brave enough? I'd like to say yes, but I'm human enough to admit that I don't know. I don't have to deal with that. I live in Australia where freedom of religion is somewhat protected, and so we have, somewhat freedom to express our religious beliefs. I don't want to go too much into that. I don't want to get in trouble. But we have, like the United States, they have absolute freedom of faith, absolute freedom of belief. Our American friends can go out there and speak and preach and do so. So I've never been in a situation where my freedom of speech has been so severely limited that I risk getting murdered for it. So it's interesting. It takes us a level of courage. I reflect on that because I'm honest enough to admit I don't know what I would do in his situation. What would you do? So that's all I've got for now. I will post some more later on, but thank you very much. Leave your questions down below, and all the best. Bye.